What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course, From Ridiculous to Radical to Real, This Means War. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, From Ridiculous to Radical to Real and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
Allow God's living waters to wash over you and refresh your soul.
You've been praying for yourself when the answer is in praying for other people. While I'm praying for California, God shows up in my house.
As kingdom people, with the king in us and us being sovereign ground, we are not governed by the laws of this land, but we're governed by the laws of heaven.
He's talking about you going to draw water from the wells of salvation. Where's the well? In you.
If we want to release the water, watch this, we don't have to pray for it to come. Where we are now, we pray for it to be released.
Release deliverance and transformation in every area of your life through God's living waters. This revitalizing 3-message series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans 1, at David G. Evans, the number one. We're so glad you've joined us again as we talk about the things that impact your life internationally, nationally, regionally, locally, but always from a biblical perspective, always from a kingdom perspective, so that you would have an Issacharian understanding of what's going on around you as it relates to politics, sports, culture, all those things that concern us and impact our lives. That's what we talk about on Point. So we'd love for you to join us. Won't you like and subscribe, share with anyone on your platform at this time, and invite them to join us at On Point this morning at David G. Evans, the number one. You can call us toll free from anywhere in the world, 866-743-8267, 826-7866-7 for Evans. You can give us a call. We'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you about those things that are impacting your life nationally, internationally, regionally, locally, statewide. Just been a very interesting week. Our co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith, is with us today once again, as always. A couple of things that we have to talk about. We can't get around them. The Trump indictment. I'd like to know our audience's opinion of Cornel West running for president. Oh boy. So, and of course we got the NBA playoffs going on. I saw that Pat Robertson went home to be with the Lord this week at 93 years old. A lot of crazy stuff happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
11-year-old gets shot by police after calling 911. African-American mother killed by a neighbor after they have a dispute. I was a little surprised. Oath Keepers leader is sentenced to 18 years due to the January 6th sedition case, which is probably making some people a little hesitant about getting out and expressing themselves in those ways.
Yep. Yeah.
And I would think. I'm a peripheral golf fan, and it couldn't have been more than 12 months ago that anyone that was taking the Saudi deal was somewhat of a traitor to the PGA in the United States. And now the PGA has merged with the Saudi League?
They're claiming it's a merger, but it seems like it's the Saudi company bought them out.
They took over the PGA.
That's what it looks like. They're called now. It's disputed because we have all the details.
Okay.
They're saying it's a merger, but some people on the inside are saying this ain't much of a
when a
50-50
merger, you kind of think of equals coming together, at least proportionately so. But there's no way the PGA has the kind of money that the LIV league has. There's no way.
Yeah, it seems like it might be like a 60-40,
maybe
70-30.
Even 80-20.
Yeah, kind of deal.
Because they've got money all day long.
Yeah, and that's what gets. What are the? Well, I'd say ask a dumb question. What are the conservatives that are American first going to say? But then I forgot money always rules everything.
Absolutely.
So
America's first until you tell me how much money it's going to get me. So
there you go. Yep.
I was really surprised at that.
Me too. A lot of people are upset about it. The golfers
and I mean Tiger Woods and a few people. They kind of went out on a limb. We're going to be loyal to the PGA, and then, unbeknownst to them, behind the scenes, negotiations were underway, and now they're announcing that in principle they have a deal.
Yes.
That means they have a deal.
They have a deal. Yes. Yeah.
I wonder how much money, how much incentives, let's put it that way, the leaders of the PGA, if there were any, how much incentives were put on the table for them.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for the details to come out of the deal because they're just quiet for now.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, money rules everything. And whoever's the owner, whoever owns it, gets the most from it.
Yeah.
And everybody got to deal with it. It's the American way. It's just, and the 9/11 family survivors, the family members of survivors, or people that have died during 9/11.
Yeah.
Of course, they're upset about it.
Of course.
Logically should be.
Yes.
But again, We've been buying oil from them for all these years, going to war to help maintain our relationship.
Back to your money principle.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have the oil. Yes, you may have killed some of our people, but we still want your oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm learning more and more that human life does not get in the way of a political decision. Mm-hmm. Now, money will get in the way of one, but human life will not.
No, not at all.
And that's disappointing.
Yeah. Guns.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NRA.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, 45 was indicted and has to appear on Tuesday.
Yes.
Now, just, understanding or my perspective on him peripherally, he may be exhibiting a lot of bravado, but I don't think he's going to take this well.
Nah. He's ranting already.
Yeah, but I think the fact that he's going to have to appear in court and he's being indicted is, and the fact that they did it in Florida. But the other thing that that concerns me, or gives me pause, is why would they put the judge that already had been, and they said it was random, but who believes that in Florida?
Right, exactly.
Why would they put the same judge who obviously was not operating properly in his other matter? Why would they put her in this one? And she's a Trump appointed person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Who determines?
Yeah. So the Justice Department is going to have to immediately, they're going to have to protest it, unless the circuit court sits her down and says, look, you're not going to be able to do what you did the last time.
Yeah. You either save yourself or you got to make a decision. Yeah. Did you see the pictures of all the boxes in his house? In the bathroom?
I read like half of the indictment, so I saw a lot of the images that are attached to that document. When you're listening to TV from time to watching TV from time to time, you listen to people talk, you're thinking maybe, okay, he's got 40, 50 boxes. He had like almost 200 boxes in one room.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had them in multiple rooms.
Yes, and so you're talking maybe 500 boxes, 600, all classified.
Yep.
And then in the indictment, they have his statements, first regarding national security and how careful you have to be with all these things. And then they got a whole list of other statements where it's saying I can do exactly what I want to do it's just.
Yeah.
But the document is clear. It says he ceased to be president at 12 midnight on the 20th of January.
Yep. Yep.
And from that point on, they don't call him president. They call him Trump.
You are a citizen of the United States of America. Yes. I mean, if they go after presidential libraries for having one document, and getting that return back, you got cases and cases and cases. You can't say that was a mistake. It got slipped in there.
No. And my peripheral understanding of him, there's no way I can pull what I'm about to say off the table of possibilities, and that is he was going to use them to make money.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He's going to leverage them some way, shape, or form.
A whole lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Because you're talking thousands of documents, hundreds of boxes, thousands of classified documents that he said he could declassify by simply thinking it. How?
I know.
Some things you just shouldn't say.
You shouldn't. No. And the crazy thing is, he's still polling higher than every other Republican candidate that's going to run for president in 24.
What does that say to you?
That his group want power so much, they don't care what it costs, what it takes. They will continue to use him as a means to an end. As long as he's viable for them, valuable, they will continue to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're starting to fully understand what he affirms in the people that support him, and that affirmation, not dissimilar from social media affirmation, is literally more important than the negative aspects that he could bring to them, the country. It doesn't matter. Something is being affirmed on a very visceral, guttural, emotional level that would cause them to overlook whatever he does. Now, treason, I don't get how they could overlook that. But they've got so many indictments on him that I think he's going to plea.
Yeah.
But part of his plea is going to be never run for office again. If they don't get that from him, then they made a mistake.
Yep. This I'm reading through some stuff now. This conflation of, to me, this you can help me out wrong here. The higher ups will use God, fear, country as a means to get those who aren't as attuned as them. They'll use it as a tool, while the people actually believe that God sent him to restore so and so.
Right.
They play on their fears, play on their intelligence. You know, I'm trying to be nice when I'm saying stuff. You know, and the people will just go along with it because of these people they respect are saying X, Y, and Z. When this whole conflation of God and country is complete idolatry. I'm sorry. It just,
well, it is. It's this whole. I think that's what they call it, the Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
I believe, like a lot of people do that, you know, are believers, they will use faith to validate an unspiritual point of view. And once again, I'm back to the power of what is being affirmed, even in our Christian leaders, who were willing to make the deal with him. That, you know, I'll give you the abortion thing. I'll say something about the LGBTQ community, but part of my deal is I don't want you to criticize me. And I know I said that early on in his term, years and years ago. And I know some people say, but the silence of the evangelical community during his term was so obvious, it was incredible. No matter what, and we made this, if Barack Obama had done a tenth of what the evangelicals' hair would have been on fire. But President Trump did incident after incident after incident, and my evangelical brothers and sisters said absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Yep. I'm watching this documentary on that group. It feels like a cult. You almost kind of know it from the outside, but then you start learning about the stuff they did and the stuff they're doing. It literally feels like a cult. They're grooming them when they're young. So it makes sense why they believe it so strongly when they get older. Almost like the church you went out to years ago in Indiana. That they kind of go through how they raise their kids. And I'm like, these people are literally brainwashed.
It's indoctrination.
All the while hiding behind the scenes with the stuff that they're doing that they're not telling anybody about. Because, you know, we were out there. That guy was real brash, but then I'm getting arrested for
I know.
messing with that 16-year.
I know.
And, I mean,
I saw it.
It's that whole world is...
It's different.
Yeah.
It's not to say that, you know, the African American church does not have its issues, and we do. I think what raises the problem is the evangelicals that I know, and I know a few, and they're prominent. They are trying to inflict their beliefs on everyone. And as spiritual leaders like we are, we believe what we believe, but that does not take away your right to believe what you believe. You know, but I think we live in a country where perspectives are no longer honored. Like if me and you are trying to decide on this glass case, and your perspective is different than mine, then because mine is different, that says I'm invalidating yours. I'm calling you a liar. I'm telling you it didn't happen. No, I'm just saying I see this glass case from the perspective that I'm standing. You see it from yours. We got to be allowed to have that. That doesn't discount the fact that you see it another way different than I do. But I don't know why people don't get this.
And then be open up to say, okay, let me switch seats with you so I can see it your way. And maybe my perspective will change if I see it from a different angle. But we're so locked into...
We don't want to do that.
And then the biblical roots that they use, like they use... Cyrus. They used the nation of Israel conquering Canaan. So that justifies violence. That justifies it. You can't use those scriptures to justify violence in the name of God to conquer people. But they.
How can you be a modern day evangelical who largely discount the Old Testament, but when it came time to prove your politics, suddenly the Old Testament has new, renewed, revived, restored relevance?
Yep.
Why, if you've been just preaching Paul for the last 150 years, then why all of a sudden does Moses make that much difference? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm just saying.
It's
convenient.
convenience. You're right. It's convenience.
Unbelievable. 866-743-8267. 866-743-8267. Give us your opinion on the indictment of former President Trump. If you have any thoughts on the debt ceiling. Now, that dance has happened in every administration.
Yes, every couple of years, yeah.
The reason I know that it's a dance, because I don't believe in any context of politics that the Republicans are going to let something happen to the country that's going to impact the wealthy.
Yep.
As long as it's impacting poor people and working folk, it's not a big deal. But they're not going to see their stock market go to plummeting down and real estate go so far down that they can't come back. They're not going to allow that to happen.
Nope. Not going to. It's political theater, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's political theater.
And the discussion fraught with tension, accusations, when my Republican friends know full well they don't want anything to happen to the flow of their money.
Yep.
And that if the Republicans want to keep the flow of money coming to them, they're not going to have the Koch brothers upset at them.
No. They're going to take care of their people.
Absolutely.
Make sure they're good. But that, to me, that's the dirty politics of America. And that's what bugs me about our country.
Okay.
We claim people, we claim God, but our politics just in general is so dirty and just...
It's deal, disparage, destroy.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 Ds of politics.
Yeah. And I mean, look, Dave Chappelle said it right about Trump. Trump came out and told the truth.
Okay.
Politics is dirty.
Okay.
Politics is deceitful. You know, the way the country's set up is against y'all regular folk, and it only benefits the wealthy people.
Okay.
And he was telling the truth. And then, like, the joke Chappelle said was like, Trump knew it was true, so he came out and showed the world what was behind the scenes. He said the problem is his supporters forgot that after he revealed everything to them, he went back in the room and kept playing.
That's right.
They're stuck up on him revealing it.
Yeah.
And missed the fact
he's
that
a part of it.
He's a part of it.
Yes.
It did not include them in the process. So yeah, the swamp is dirty.
But here's my thing: why does the American public give the impression that it cannot think 2 independent thoughts at the same time?
Yeah.
I mean, why can't a billionaire is telling you there's no concern for the regular person, and then he goes right back to being a billionaire with no concern for the regular people?
Absolutely.
So why would the whole time he's making that speech, I'm sitting there saying, well, you're part of what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. But again, they know their people.
Yeah.
Single issue voter. If I focus on these one or two things, I can do whatever I want to do. What did Lyndon Johnson say? If I make the poorest white man feel better than the poorest black man, you could take his money all day long.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing the statement, but that's kind of the gist of it.
And I think we're back again to this affirmation of something emotional is very strong, because in the way I see it, they can take their money, have them evicted from their houses, downsize them, but that's still my guy.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's fundamental level. That's that affects the house you live in.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
was watching the news. This one guy said, we got to get Obamacare out of here. And the reporter said, Obamacare helped set up all these, the patient first, those little urgent cares, especially in those rural areas where the hospital's like way far away. Yeah. It helped you do that. And he said, I don't care as long as we get rid of it and we get Trump care. Well, what's Trump care? I don't know what Trump care is, but I just know it's going to be better than Obamacare.
There was no Trump care.
Thank you. He was that blinded by
the entire time the Republicans were protesting, quote unquote, the CARE Act. They didn't have one.
They had nothing. And their thought was, whatever the Republicans give us is going to be better than this, and even if it's going to hurt me.
But once again, we're back to the strength of their feelings and those positionings affirming something else in them.
Yeah.
That as long as it's not this, even if it kills me, it's better than being alive.
Yes. Yeah, literally what it is.
Yeah.
President Obama scared that group so bad.
I know.
They were willing to sacrifice anything.
Their own folk.
To get
their own
power
folk.
back.
Their own folk. But what's really, they call it the culture wars, of course, but they found that you can throw a red herring to these groups of supporters and they'll get focused on that one thing and nothing else matters.
Yep.
I mean, drag shows, get focused on that. Let's get these books out of school. Focus on that. I need you to focus on those things while I take all of this away from you.
Yes.
While because I didn't hear a whole lot of protests about Republicans wanting to eliminate or cut Social Security.
Yep.
I didn't hear any protests about that stuff.
Nope.
I got you focused on you shouldn't like transgender people.
Yep. The whole woke thing is going to be the new.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a new campaign.
It's not issues. It's emotional.
Yep.
And they've tapped into it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Tom on line 1. We've got Danny on line 3. You can give us a call. Join us this morning, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Let's go to Tom. Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Hey, Tom.
All right, man.
Bishop, you were talking just now about being focused and the red herrings. But in Utah, I think people are flipping it when they're talking about now banning the Bible and the Book of Mormons. And I think it's politically being done to show them how crazy the laws are, that anybody can ban a book for what it says.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are the evangelicals in Utah doing?
Oh, they're up in arms, but I think the person who brought the suit was doing it thinking how ridiculous the laws are becoming, that I will show you that we can ban anything if you want to go this way.
Yeah, because one of the parents brought it up. But again, it goes back to the other side. Okay, y'all want to ban our books?
Do you know how much money from the Mormons is in Utah?
Yeah, a lot.
You have any idea?
A lot.
When I went to Salt Lake City, I had no personal experience with Utah, the culture, and the impact of the Mormon Church on Utah as a state. They are a powerful group of people.
Yeah.
Politically,
Yes.
socially, religiously, it's and to say we're coming after your book is direct assault on one of the strongest portions of the population, financially and politically, in that particular state.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I seen the church they got in Philly.
It's magnificent.
That thing is beautiful.
It's magnificent.
Right off Broad Street.
It's magnificent.
Yeah.
That's money right there to be
It's
able to-
magnificent down there.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think the reason it was brought was to prove a point.
Yeah.
Not that they ever thought it was going to happen, but to show how ridiculous these laws are going. The other thing is, Bishop, for 15 years of my life, I worked for Lockheed.
Did you?
Yes. And started out with RCA Aerospace.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is I was around secret documents constantly.
Okay.
Everybody I worked with either had confidential, secret, top secret clearance. And you could not be in a room, not unless the room was a secure room, where somebody had to walk in the room where you'd have a badge and a key code to get in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ridiculous. It's almost like the movies. If you had documents in a room that had windows, it would be a room that had music pumped into the windows so somebody on the outside could not hear what was going on with a laser scope.
Wow.
Now, people think that's crazy, but that's for real.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
that's right there in Morristown, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it this. So we had one guy who I work with who has secret documents out in a secure room, which is okay
Right.
if there are two people in the room.
Right.
But this guy was there by himself, which was still okay.
Mhm.
But he had to go to the bathroom. So he left the room with the documents on the table. Secure room, you need a combination to get in.
Right.
Security walked by, saw the documents. This guy had FBI investigate him. He ended up not getting fired, but on probation for 6 months, and almost lost his clearance because they were out in a secure room, but not somebody being there to custodian.
Wow.
So
So,
when I give up
these things are
Trump-
very serious. That former President Trump is. Yeah.
Yeah, when I sit there and look at that, I'm just saying right up the road from where you're at there, you handle documents like that, you will go to jail.
And you know what's unfortunate is we're probably going to watch the retired Navy guy. I don't know if he's retired or not, who was like his assistant. We're probably going to watch him get flayed by the law.
Oh, I think he's
But
going to take a heat of it.
he was only doing what his boss told him to do.
Yeah.
I hope he has sense enough to say, okay, I'm not going down for this.
Yeah.
You know, because he's looking at, if they put the leader of the Proud Boys in jail for 18 years, what kind of time is attached to what this indictment says?
Yeah.
You're talking a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, they put people in jail for what? Voting with questionable voter registration?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm telling you, when it comes to these
Yep.
documents, and I mean, if we lost a document, they'd shut the plant. I mean, literally, nobody's going home
Until they
because
find
they're
it.
document control.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, you can't go home. You mean you can't go home? We can't find these documents.
We gotta find it first before anybody leaves.
Yeah. I mean, that's how serious it is. I mean, it's not like, we just, they were over there in the corner, they'll be okay. That's not how it works.
I guess. All right, this is just my way of thinking. If I understand the importance of the documents that I have as a former president, why do I have them stacked on a stage?
Yeah.
Why do I have them in the shower in the
Right.
bathroom?
Okay. Yes.
Why do I have them strewn all over the floor? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
And
In some cases, I believe you could show on the walls.
yeah,
They're saying in New Jersey, when he was arguing with Chief of Staff, the Joint Chief McMilley, talking about invading Iran, he was showing these documents off. And I think that's where it really led them to go after him more seriously. Because he even acknowledged on a tape that these documents, I have these documents, and I didn't declassify them, so they're still secret. So it also made people aware that he consciously knew these documents were not declassified. But he was bragging to somebody because he was arguing about his plan over somebody else's.
I find it amazing that we're in this place, but I also know how necessary it is for the law to apply relatively equally to everybody in this country. So it's just, we shouldn't be in this position. I mean, I read some of the statements that he made concerning, I guess, his defense, and I didn't read one that was valid.
Yeah.
All the things that he says were his right ceased to exist
Yep.
on January 20th at 12 o'clock at night.
Yep.
All those, I can do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
All that went away.
Yep. Yeah. That's true.
But he's operating as though he's still president.
Yeah. Because in his mind, he can do what he wants to do.
Well, he's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom, man.
Hey, take care.
Talk to you soon.
See you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty.
Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans. Well, we'd love to talk to you this morning. Call us toll-free. Call us toll-free at 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're going to Danny from Florida. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick. How
Hey,
you
Dan.
doing, and staff?
Doing fine, man.
Good. Okay, I just want to change the topic just a little bit. Something
Okay.
that's really been troubling me.
Okay.
And that's and it's so widespread and sad. That's gun violence.
Yes, sir.
And I wish you would just talk to us about that, Bishop. Is that we have no sense of reasoning anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot talk or reason together on anything. Down here in South Florida, we had all over Florida. It's so bad, and we're supposed to be, it's widely proclaimed that we have a low gun violence.
That's not true.
Law and order.
That's not true.
It's not true, but we let DeSantis go around the country proclaiming this, and you look and you see things that happen. Just for example, we had a 2-year-old that shot himself with a gun because it was laying around the home. Now, how did that happen? We had some people that were protesting on a bridge. Somebody came and pulled a gun out, okay, and threatened them with that. We had numerous traffic violations where someone got out of a car because somebody had a fender bender, and shot up a car.
Wow.
And they had 3 minor children, and they left the scene of the accident running with the kids.
Wow.
And then this past week, they had a dispute with 2 neighbors. A lady shot from the inside of the house
Mhm.
to the outside with a steel door and killed the next door neighbor. It took several days for them to arrest the lady.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, is there any reasoning?
Well, this biblically, there is an explanation. What we do know, as we learn from the Word of God, is that hate is not a sudden emotion. Hate is something that builds over time. Biblically, hate begins in some form of rejection or envy or jealousy. So when we look at the Cain and Abel story, Cain was brooding over the fact, now watch how this states, not that Abel rejected him, but that Abel was accepted. Why was Abel accepted? Because Abel did what God required, which was bring me a blood sacrifice. Cain decided to do what he wanted to do his way and brought the fruit of the ground. That is not what you bring to a sacrifice to the Lord. So his envy, his rejection, his failure on his own part manifests itself in hate towards his brother. So then the violence that culminated with him killing Abel did not start in the field. It started in Cain's heart. So now all of a sudden, the hate becomes so heavy that his heart can no longer carry it, so he acts out in violence. So what we're seeing now across the country is not something that happened suddenly, but in the individuals, this thing has been building and building for a long time. And biblically, it probably has its roots in some form of jealousy, some form of envy, some form of feeling of rejection. And that boils up into violence is just the culmination of this emotion called hate.
It's what the heart can't hold, the mouth speaks.
Didn't I say that?
and your behavior,
Yeah,
it
man.
shows in your behavior.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
and they make it so easy to get these weapons, a right to carry.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it now, the law enforcement, they are afraid of a crowd because there's so many firearms that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, let's say you have one officer,
Okay.
what is he to the crowd that it's not just their fist or their hands or a baseball bat, they're actually carrying.
Yeah. I find it amazing. The gun laws, and I don't, maybe this is thought of, maybe not. The gun laws assume the condition of a human being's heart. That's ultimately, that's what it assumes. The way they have it written, the way they have the laws in place, they're assuming that a person does not, which is why the application process and why the screening process has to be stringent.
Yep.
Everyone is not suited to carry a gun.
Exactly.
You know, because, you watch these tapes on YouTube, and you got people that are literally walking up to folk because they don't like the way they look.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And if the person who's being assaulted retaliates, the person being assaulted is wrong.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's
It's crazy.
I saw something yesterday where these guys cleaned this woman's sidewalk, and she came out and called the police on them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then pulled the snow back down on the sidewalk that they had just cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what kind of hatred is this?
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I-
It makes you cautious of how you respond now to things.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're out with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little minor infraction kicks up.
Look,
You got, yeah.
when me and the kids were in the store the other day, I keep them close by. I don't let them go by themselves. I don't, because kids, especially my boy, he'll run into people, and if he's not looking, or knock stuff down, and I don't want to give him, I don't want to give opportunity a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You can't assume any longer that it's going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And people, we were at Whole Foods, guys is walking through, and I saw him. He was going to try to bump me.
Okay.
So I kind of kept a little stiff, a little buoyancy, just to show him, like, you're not going to just run past me. But I was with my kids, so I'm sitting there calculating something breaking out here, because you never know. Again, I never know how people are.
I know.
But he was just walking up, smug.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
oh yeah, you're going to move out of my way.
I'm not that kind of dude.
No.
But I had to think about it though, because I was with them.
I've seen people do that to me in the store.
Yeah.
They just kind of stiffen up and start moving fast, and I just stop and just, you really want to do this?
Right.
It happened to me at the airport.
Yeah.
I inadvertently just bumped a guy. We're in line,
Yeah.
first class line. They asked us to come up and just verify that we were who we were.
Yeah.
And, he moved and I moved. And he kind of put a little extra on his elbow.
Yeah.
And I said, "Pardon me, sir." And he got real red.
Yeah.
And I said, if I offended you, please accept my apology.
Yeah.
And he just stiffened up some
still-
more.
yeah.
So he was waiting for something. We were in line.
Yeah.
He moved.
Parking lot. I'm trying to rushing. People are crazy with.
There's a lot of resentment.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is when former President Trump was in office, I saw a lot of aggression from people that I never saw before. And I think I've related to you before. The day after the election,
The gym.
I was at the gym and the guy said, "How you feel?" I mean, I said, "I'm fine. What's going on?"
Yeah.
He said, "How's it feel now that we're in charge again?" And I said, "What?" He said, "We're in charge now." I said, we thought we were in charge for the last 8 years?
Yeah. Right. He knew that was.
I'm like, but it showed me something. And I had been working out with this guy for years.
Yeah.
And the flip was amazing. His total presentation to me as a person was a facade.
Yep. To be that insecure, to think that whoever's president is going to make you feel But again, that's how they feel. So they assume everybody else feels the same way.
His chest was poked out.
Yeah.
He was saying it loud.
That's true. Yeah.
And I said, well, when I woke up this morning, the sun was still shining. The birds were still chirping.
Yep.
I said, and squirrels were still running around the yard. So I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How's it feel we're in charge again?
That just shows how small to me they are to think that.
Well, yeah, it's just
somebody in office.
It shows the intensity of the emotion to me, and what electing an African American president meant to a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do them in a tizzy.
So your guys running for president, huh?
Yep. And it's all coming out the way that he planned everything, because, like I said before, when they first started this thing between him and the governor of Texas, it was going to come down to those two, because Trump is going to be in so much trouble. It's just like you said. You told us when New York gets involved with it, New York is not afraid of saying or bringing out whatever it is.
No.
So it's going to be like
he's got some problems, and I think his only hope was, before this came up, his only hope was that he would become president and could delay any legal action for 4 years, and not necessarily saying that would be a fail-safe position to be in, because he still could be impeached just like Nixon was. But I think he felt as though if I can get in office and we can maintain the majority, I can get some protection for 4 years and delay it. But I'm not sure. I think we're going to watch a slow but sure stream of people abandoning the ship over the next 4 or 5 days, especially when he appears.
Yeah, we seen them jumping ship in the last couple of days.
Have they? I heard Pence came out, but he still didn't mention his name.
Yeah, we had some legal team members who resigned.
Okay. Because this kind of federal indictment is it's not something you can influence. I think the only thing he has going for him is to egotistically think I can beat this, or what's the plea? And the plea is going to be, well, you can't do this again. But if you or I had done this espionage thing, there would be no plea.
He'd be a Supermax in Florence, the Colorado.
Come on. On bread and water, even though they don't do that anymore.
Right.
Danny,
thank you very much, Bishop.
Man, thanks for calling us, man.
Thanks, see you later.
Right.
Tell my sister I said hello.
Will do.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. What did you think about the ruling by the Supreme Court regarding the voters in Alabama?
Oh, I thought it was good, because they recognized that if they voted against this in the wrong way with this redistricting case, it would mess with the voting rights law.
Okay.
So that's why the majority allowed this redistricting to happen to help. You got a state that's, well, Mississippi said, I think they said it was 25% African American in certain sections, of course. To splice that up and to separate that vote, of course, is to separate their people they want to win an election.
Sure.
So I'm good with it, because again, the only way they can really win these states in certain cases is to draw the map a different way in their favor.
Right.
And the Supreme Court,
they said no,
wasn't going to do it.
Okay.
Of course, Clarence Thomas was on the nay side and wrote this whole scathing 50-page why he was against it.
I don't know how you're as dark as he is and think people don't see that you're black. Maybe that's that thing I see in his eyes, that he's in denial about who he is, obviously, because he seems to have no social consciousness at all, and seems to delight in ruling against the benefit of a people that he is visually a part of.
I'm glad you said visually a part of.
Yeah, visually a part of.
Almost makes you feel like some people don't like being black.
I have a relative that does not like that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But what happens, and because I have some personal experience with this, what happens with an individual like that is they surround themselves with the opposite of who they are. And because they find some people, even if they have to buy their way into their affection, if they find some people who will accept them, it helps them distance themselves from who they are. But I don't know how you look yourself in the mirror daily and hate what you see looking back at you.
Right. When God made you that way.
Hey.
And then not realize that behind the scenes, may not be in front of you, they'll call you the N-word and stuff behind your back, and there's no. It's in some cases there is great acceptance. I have my best friends growing up were white, so we were, cool.
Yeah.
But there are some where it's like we're only okay with you when you act like us.
Absolutely.
We really don't accept you.
Absolutely. Because I know, having gone to a majority white boarding school, hundreds of students, there were only 6 of us. And amazingly, I got the book from the school the other day. The school's majority black and Hispanic now.
Cool.
I'm wondering, with the face of the school changing, although the leadership is still Caucasian, the student body that I saw, people of color, 98%.
Nice. Okay.
But the endowment for that school, when I was there, was one of the wealthiest schools in the country.
Okay.
Because when I was there, faces of color were in minority. And because of that, tons of money would come to the school. The endowment was about $160,000 per student.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
The school owned something almost 20,000 acres of land out in Exton, Pennsylvania. So the school was for children who came from broken homes. But the economics of the school were phenomenal.
Yeah.
They've developed the school, but now when I see the face, I wonder if those endowment dollars have changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because certain people,
Yeah, because human nature is, I want to be where I'm accepted. I want to be where I'm not made to feel different. And I think we do here at our church, we do a great job of accepting everyone that comes and making sure what we would expect if we were in a minority, which is intentionality. We do for our members that we may be a different hue, but we know we're all God's kids. But I think that it wasn't until former President Trump got in office that we saw some of our members decide they no longer wanted to be here, based purely on what he had been saying. But amazingly, years later, I'm starting to hear from him again.
Of course.
Because what we do offer is stability, consistency, place where you can raise your kids, place where families are safe. I mean, just, all of that is what we offer. But we're not trendy. We are contemporary, but we're not trendy, if that is not a contradiction. Okay. So who we are does not change every 45, 50 days. But human nature is such now that we undervalue these types of things until we need them.
Yes.
And then we tend to value them only as long as the crisis lasts. Okay.
Crisis Christians, crisis people. Always chasing something.
Never catching it.
Looking out there rather than looking in here.
The major overhaul of renovation happens within the person's heart. in their relationship with God, and most people are looking to compensate for what they don't feel inside with the things going on around them.
Yes.
And we're back to why people are so offended, so deeply offended by something that if they were just a little stronger, it wouldn't bother them at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. I think the older I get, the more if the offense happens to me, the first thing I look at, okay, was I being too sensitive today?
How did I contribute to it?
How did I contribute to it? It's something that I did, something to correct. And if I've done that assessment, honest assessment, and it was just a person, then go from there. But there are days where, see, on a Monday, I'm fine. I'm strong as an ox.
Yep.
By Friday,
yeah, you might have a couple wrinkles there.
Yeah, and just this little small thing. We all been there where a small thing bothers you so much. You ask yourself, what is wrong with you? Why is this one
Most
thing?
people won't do that, Pastor Nick.
Yeah.
Most people won't do that. I think when a lot of times our reactions to other people, especially in offense situations, is based on what we're struggling with ourselves.
Yeah. Yes.
And we finally get a chance to feel vindicated and right about something. But in order to do that, I have to eliminate all my responsibility in the problem.
Yep.
And just halo on one thing. It's like, all of us growing up, we could be dead wrong about a thing, know we're wrong about it, but I don't like the way you approach me about it. Right. So how you approach me takes precedent over the fact that I just shot you in the foot.
Right, yeah. Why are you screaming at me?
Yeah.
Well, you shot me. That's what
so I don't like the way you spoke to me, so, I don't like how you reacted to me.
Yeah.
So that is what eliminates my own behavior in the thing.
Yep. Because could you imagine God coming in the garden and Adam and Eve said, hey, God, before you say anything, we messed up.
Yeah.
We ate from the fruit.
Oh, that would
It
been,
just fessed up. They
that'd
still got kicked out of the garden.
That would have been wonderful.
At least it would have been.
That would have been wonderful. I don't think he would have kicked them out.
Well, because the tree was there. The other tree was
They
there.
were hiding.
Yeah. So, but the premise is like sin allows us to deny, negate, absolve ourselves, blame everybody else, rather than take some ownership.
Yeah, well, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that. Because what I need to be is right about some things, and in order for me to be right about some things that I contributed to, I have to search for something in that process to validate me and eliminate all everything else. So it's unfortunate.
It is.
I got this theory that in Acts chapter 2, when the sound comes from heaven, he gives a sound for us to make a sound. You shall be witnesses. We go back to the Garden of Eden. They get their marching orders. God gives a sound. Satan gives a sound. And we have to decide which sound we're going to duplicate. And they decide the serpent sound is what they want to say.
Yep.
So the Bible starts out again with the same principles that it has all throughout. There is a sound.
Yep.
The voice of the Lord came walking in the cool of the day. Satan's voice is also and serpent's voice is also there, and you have to decide who you'll be a witness for.
Yes.
And when God says, "Where are you?" What is it you've done?
Yeah.
They start echoing the serpent and not God.
Yes. Yep.
So it's the first example of a believer not being a witness.
Yeah. For God. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's that Bible so interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some things. Now, tomorrow, of course, we want to invite you to our worship service here at the Plaza. 8 a.m. is our virtual service. 11 a.m. is our in-person service here in our sanctuary. We're no longer requiring COVID vaccination to attend service, but you do have to have a mask, and we will take your temperature when you get here. So we'd love to see you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock live. We've been having phenomenal worship. The word has been great. The power of God, the presence of God has been so very powerful. I want to invite you to both of our Bible studies on Wednesday, our 12 noon study here at the Plaza Live, and our 7 p.m. study. Both of them are midweek impact services. We want you to come on out. If you want to get updates from us, news about what's going on around the Plaza, all you have to do is text BBC News to 28950. That's text BBC News to 28950. And to receive devotional messages throughout the day and throughout the week, text BBC Elevate to 28950. Of course, if you have any prayer requests at all, we love to agree with you in prayer, love to pray with you. So you send those prayer requests to social@go2bethany.com. That's social@go2bethany.com. And as always, we want you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC BNJ on YouTube. And also subscribe to our podcast platforms, which is DGEMS, David G. Evans Ministries, DGEMS, and On Point. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop Dave G. Evans. We want you to remember faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. I'll see you tomorrow. Come on out and see us. You'll have a great time in the Lord. We're having a tremendous move of God. We want you to be a part of it. Stay strong. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, stay strong. We'll see you next time.